contributors to this very important part of the bill, and can I first of all acknowledge the contribution from Chester Burrows and say that Chester Burrows is a person that comes from a background in policing and in law and in practice, and Mr Burrows is always worth listening to. I don't always agree with everything he says, but he would make a very splendid minister in my view. We've just heard from the member for Hamilton West, who pointed out that the Police Association supported this bill. Well, I was the Minister of Police, and I would have said exactly what I would have expected from the Police Association, and I have great respect for them, but I don't always agree with the Police Association either. But I do need to tell you that some of the stars of the police themselves are the youth aid officers who work on a daily basis with our young people, who understand how young people work and try not to criminalise young people but to keep them out of the criminal justice system in a whole variety of ways. In fact, as Minister, I was told that the our youth aid officers in New Zealand are amongst the best in the world in terms of their practice and what they do. And so I think that I'm inclined more to listen to the youth aid officers than the association on this matter. They're often right on other matters, and I've agreed with them, but I was not at all surprised that they were one or perhaps two of all submitters who agreed with this bill. The member also mentioned Te Hurihanga and how they're going to turn this facility that was built for a program that was working for some of the toughest children you could find. They're going to use this facility for Fresh Start. That's what he said. Going to use this facility for Fresh Start. So are we going to put the cost of the facility on every Fresh Start child that goes through, so we now know the cost of those children that go through that facility? I mean, why stop something that's actually had an evaluation, that has been shown to be successful? These are hard nut kids that they were dealing with. The Minister mentioned her little pilot down in the South Island. There's been no proper evaluation on that program. It hasn't been, no real work's been done to see that it works. Something you've had for a few months is hardly able to be evaluated over a long period of time. Why would you stop a program that could do the very thing that the Minister said she wants to happen? It makes absolutely no sense to me at all. And then we had the Minister. And the Minister, I think, has forgotten a really fundamental thing. And that is that 12 to 13-year-olds are not young people, they are children. Can the Minister remember what it's like to have a 12 and 13-year-old? They are children. They are not young adults. They still have developing brains and bodies. And while those that offend do need to be held accountable for their offending, but they also need care and protection. And it is the state's responsibility to provide that care and protection when they've got failing parents that have not been able to. And what is wrong with this bill is it puts an emphasis on the youth courts with not that attention on care and protection. So we can punish them, we can put them into boot camps, we can require them to have mentoring, and their parents who are already dysfunctional to have parenting training. But at the end of the day, it's those children who need proper care and attention to ensure that they have a chance to grow up as decent young people. The Minister then made a fundamental error saying, well, you could do things like a short, sharp shock. Well, if we heard anything at the Select Committee is that short, sharp shocks don't work. They don't work. They might last as long as the short, sharp shock is being given, but they go away angry and defiant, and they don't work. So why would the Minister's thinking have this in it? I think it actually shows where she comes from. And it's not from a basis of evidence in terms of what she is trying to do. I'd say to the Minister, I'd like to know how she will judge this program in 1 year's time. When she stands up to respond, I'd like her to tell this House and the people of New Zealand, Mr. Chairman.
I call Todd McLeod. Mr Chair, thank you.